Now to a bonus read from the CBS New York Book Club. It's a new novel released this week from best-selling author Anna Quindlen. It's entitled After Annie. It's about love and living with a sudden loss. Anna is here with us now. Welcome. Congratulations on the new book.
Oh, thank you, Mary.
So good to see you in person after reading so many of your books. But I wanted to start at the beginning because you dedicated it to your mom, and you write like thread through. You write such beautiful things throughout the book, but I just wanted to read this. It says, for PMQ, one last time, love never fails. Tell us about the inspiration for your story.
Well, I don't really know where my stories come from, but I do know the themes that I care about. One of them is that love never fails, from 1 Corinthians. And one of the things about this book is that it's about the fact that we manage to get through terrible loss by realizing that the people that we love are embedded deep within us, and that in some sense, they're never really gone.
Oh, isn't it so true? You tell the story from the perspective of Annie's husband, her daughter, and her best friend. Each remembers her differently, and that really shapes their grief throughout this book.
And one of the things that I worked with in the book, and that I really feel satisfied about, is Annie dies in the first sentence of the novel. But I think she's the most alive character in the book.
Oh, so
and I
true.
think that's often true, that we take people that we love for granted when they're with us, and when they're gone, they loom so large in our memory that it's almost as though they're larger than life.
So this book covers a year, but I wanted to ask, how long did it take you to write? I mean, it's so beautifully told.
Oh, thank you. Maybe a year and a half. I don't really keep track, because there's that first draft that sort of comes out, and then there's my editor saying to me, now we need a little more of this and a little more of that, which she does fantastically.
So much of writing is rewriting, isn't it?
Yes, and it's my least favorite part, and yet I know it always makes the work better.
I love the details in the book, you know, even to the buds on the trees that are, they're getting this unseasonable February, but then they're going to refreeze, so be careful of that. I mean, it just goes down to such minute detail that are so beautiful, and I wonder if you get your inspiration through places in New York City as you walk around and be part of it.
New York City is one of the great loves of my life. Every time I come into the city and see the skyline, I want to reach out and hug it. But I was also a reporter for many years, and you learn to pick up telling details as a reporter.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. From your days as a columnist for the New York Times to so many of your stories, you write about these shared experiences, and in this one specifically, the grieving process.
Absolutely, but I mean, the great thing about reading, and why books, all kinds of books, should be available to everyone, everywhere, is because books make us feel less alone. They're both a mirror and a window. We see ourselves, and we see a different kind of life than the one we lead.
It's such a good point you make, because there's such a feeling of hope throughout your book as well.
Well, I mean, I am essentially a very hopeful person, and I do think that hope and love are the only things that get us through the hardest parts of our lives.
Well, the book is After Annie. Anna, thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to see you in person after reading so many of your stories, so thank you.
Thanks, Mary.
And for more information about the CBS New York Book Club and our current read, which is Acts of Forgiveness, you can go to our website, clubcalvi.com.